Hello. Welcome to my world of art, entertainment, and empowerment for kids. Big kids, little kids, small kids, tall kids, fat kids, skinny kids. Kids that are young at heart, no matter how old you are. That's the idea behind UBU. Welcome to our show, UBU. I'm here with Paisley in the studio. I also have someone as a guest who can only be himself. At least since I've known him, he's been the greatest himself, Dave Limcaco. Did I say that correctly, Dave?
Close enough. Limcaco.
Limcaco.
There you go.
Thank you so much for coming. I want to know all about you. I really do. You're just such a great energy in my life. How do we know each other?
We're on a speakers bureau with the Mental Health Association of San Francisco, and that's how we would go out to hospitals and junior college and universities and do outreach and share our brief story within 10 minutes. And basically, it was to share what we're challenged by and how we cope and how trying to stamp out stigma and shame.
Associated with mental health, right?
Yes.
Because it's all about mental health, people. I mean, as we grow up, I believe we're just a bunch of big kids walking around in adult bodies. And the things that affect us as kids really stay with us for a long time, whether it be from conditioning. I always like a big meal on Sunday nights. Like that's from my upbringing. But so, without touching it too harshly, do you think you could briefly tell us about the trauma that made you become a speaker?
Yes. When I was 9, I was in 5th grade. And, before, from 0 to 9, I was an only child.
Okay.
Raised by a teenage mom by herself. So she was quite depressed and quiet all the time and wasn't really there. She was checked out. But when I started the new school, I got chased. And I wasn't an only child anymore, Margot. She had married my stepdad. And eventually I was one of 8 kids. Can you imagine?
Wow.
I was trying to figure out, where do I fit? How do I fit? What's expected of me? How can I get some attention? Like, mom, love me, or at least notice that I'm around.
Right.
So anyway, I got chased, and thank goodness I'm a fast runner, so I didn't get beaten up. But it traumatized me anyway, and I had no one to run to. I didn't know how to share it with the teacher or an auntie. Well, there was no auntie or uncles. It was just my mom, who was depressed and struggling with her own challenges. But even though it was traumatizing, I moved, I pushed through. I showed up, just did the best I could. But I do know that, like this shirt that I brought with me, basically it says, time is of the swiftest of all things. And
oops.
Wait,
there I am.
All things, darkness covers light, and light fills darkness. It's a poem, and when I woke up this morning, I thought, oh my gosh, this shirt really encapsulates what I went through, the trauma, the trauma, and not knowing there was nowhere to go, and I didn't. So, my 9-year-old mind just said, David, keep quiet and try to figure out how to stay out of trouble. And I don't want to be a part of getting scolded, being one of 8 kids. So it's been a journey. And I like what you said earlier. I am a big kid. I mean, yeah, I'm a big kid at heart, and just a little more wrinkles and older. But I feel that I move in the world way better than before. Finally working through that trauma.
Well, my message too is don't wait to be a grown up to like yourself, because if you just knew then how great you are, and whether that helped form you, of course it helped form you now, but can you tell us a little bit of how like did bullying or intimidation play a part in making you who you are at all? Because that our empowerment for kids is a program that if you've seen our other shows, people, it is a practical solution to bullying for every grade and every kid. And I'm really trying to roll that out across the world. So, and bullying really has an effect on you for your whole life. So I'm even going to get some bullies on here to talk about themselves someday. But I just wanted to know if it really made you form your certain decisions.
Oh, it impacted me up until like at least 40 years. All my life it's impacted me up until like 3 weeks ago.
You're so cute.
And what's happened, Margot, is I'm tired of moving through the world like a scared little, quiet little puppet
Yay.
that's been trampled on and stomped. I'm asserting myself. I'm discovering that I have tons of light. I have tons of energy. And yeah, the darkness comes, but you know what? I choose to not go there. I have choices, right?
Wow.
I could be really,
So
I could be
inspiring.
dark and stay dark, and I've stayed dark for 40 years. So, uh, my message to your audience is that um, there's help out there, and there's so many people that can support you through any sort of really trying things, because childhood's not easy, and you're so right, it does form who I am, but I'm over it. I'm finally over it. I'm writing poetry,
Awesome.
painting, um, continuing my work with the Speakers Bureau. But up until 3 weeks ago, I was doing it with more of an anxious energy, always fearful that people are going to judge me. And now it's like, I don't care. This is me, and it feels really good to be authentic because
Wow.
you don't have to move through the world like looking over your shoulder and feeling like someone's going to hurt you, because that's what the bullying kind of did. Was I was always on guard, and I never got to really discover
Your
what I,
magic.
yeah, I didn't get to like imagine and be creative, but I'm doing it now, and I'm jumping at every opportunity. And so when you asked me to be on as a guest one again, I was so excited. I said, sure. Um, but it's been a long uh, challenge, and the challenges kind of repeat itself. But you know, um, you can't change the past, right? And I don't look too far ahead, just one day at a time,
Being present.
because I ruminate. I start thinking, like yesterday I said, oh gosh, Marco's going to ask me something, I'm going to look stupid, or and then I said, David, stop that voice,
Yeah.
that inner critic. I don't know if do you
Oh, oh,
experience that,
absolutely.
Marco?
But I want to say that when I met you, I actually saw past that. Like, I just feel like your magic and your love light is so strong and evident that, like, I didn't mean to poo-poo it or dismiss it because I know it's a big thing to you, but it's sort of like I love the fact that I could see around it, and I'm glad that
Mm.
you're finally doing that too. That is this 3 weeks ago thing. It just couldn't have been more timely because it's like they're always going to be there, and it's never going to be perfect just the way we want it, but like life, I mean. And the work is to be happy anyway. Like, we're striving for the perfection that doesn't exist, and it's really up to us. We're the only ones walking in our shoes. We're the only ones that get to live it. So, and half the time they're not even thinking of you later after they traumatize you. They leave you, and you're always thinking about what other people think or something like. So, it's all mental health, and thank God for the Mental Health Association of San Francisco, who's done a lot of work with both of us. And there's always going to be somebody there for you guys to turn to if you just reach out, which I think is really important. If you're going through any stress, there's a warm line that's associated with the Mental Health Association. You could just call and chat at any time. And the number that eludes me at this moment, I'll try and put it in the notes, but it's on, you can look it up on your computer. Or do you know it by heart?
No, but I called the warm line like about 3 months ago, and it was so cool. Just I got to get it out of my head, just talking to somebody that has similar lived experience. And all
Right.
they did was listen, and I was doing all the, blah, 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 but I was able, I didn't feel so alone.
Doesn't it help you
And
like when you can
yeah,
express yourself?
and they're not judging you, and that's why they call it a warm line. It's not crisis.
Like not
It's just
hotline, right?
right. It's just right. It's not a hotline. It's
A
a
warm
warming.
line.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm familiar with it myself because I'm actually a survivor of attempted suicide from being a kid. And if you've seen my other shows, people, you probably are aware. But again, don't wait till you're grown up to like yourself. Did you know that 100% of kids' calamities could be solved with just a dose of self-esteem? Like if you really saw yourself from the outside and how people, it's a projection and in our alignment with our inner being, I think that'll bring us the peace and what we strive for. So tell me today what you do about to the goals. You do poetry, and I have a feeling that you're more like your outside shirt today than you are from your inside
I'm
shirt.
definitely my outside shirt. I love nature. I love I love Miss Paisley there. Um, I'm
And
sorry, I drew a blank.
no, so you're doing you put poetry and more things that you
Oh,
do for your mental health
I'm
today.
I'm in a theater arts class,
Wow.
and we're going to be creating a story, and somebody else dropped out, so there's only 5 of
I'm
us.
jealous.
And I'll let you know more about
Okay,
it,
good.
but we're all going to be on stage, and we'll be doing maybe if you have me on again, I'll have a
More
snippet of what it,
information.
yeah,
Okay.
but it's
Is
just
it improv or
no, it's a collaboration. So we all have a character that we develop, and then we're all living in an apartment building, right? So we have a little chunk of stage, and I think they're going to spot, the interaction. So we get to create who we are in that apartment.
Wow.
So I was going to be somebody that really likes to help people because that's just how, so I mean,
it comes
I'm
naturally
creating, yeah, I'm creating a character that is really real in
and
real life.
relatable,
Yeah.
right? Because
So,
wow, I can't wait to either see that or grab a piece of stage. That's one of the things I do is perform on stage, and like improv was always my favorite, but I've been doing stand up a little bit lately, and because life is so funny. I mean, I have to make. If I'm not laughing at it, I'm going to be crying. So I might as well laugh at it, because that's how absurd some of this stuff is. So I just love that your journey's encompassed so much stripes. And so what happened? How did you like? What happened after being dropped off in the 9-year-old as a full eight siblings or 8 of
yeah,
us?
8 of us. Yeah.
Wow. So, because I know the audience is going to want to know what happened. Like, so did that just continue like that, or didn't your
Yeah, I
grandmother play
became, um,
a role?
yeah, you're right. When I was 7, 8, we lived in my grandmother's house.
Oh,
So
okay.
I do have a lot of endearing things that my grandmother would do. Like I'd be sitting on her lap and she's watching, you folks probably never heard of this. She's watching Lawrence Welk,
Wow.
and that was her favorite show. And then she's peeling an apple. I'm sitting in her lap, and she's giving me the first slice. And I think from her standpoint, that's giving you the best part, getting the skin off and
Right.
just the juicy, sweet apple flavor. But yeah, but then what's really, really saddening is that after we moved out from my grandparents' house, my grandmother passed away the following month. and she didn't want me to leave. She was saying, you, to my stepdad, you could take my daughter, my mother,
Right.
but leave David. I mean, she just loved me to tears, and I just followed, of course, my mom, and
Right,
I
right,
didn't
right.
really have a choice. But um, oh, I miss my grandmother.
Well, she's still here with you today. I firmly believe that
Oh,
it's not
yes.
life and death; it's physical and non-physical, and that and nothing is ever lost. There was a great poem that I learned from being with the Mental Health Association Solve program, and it was about how nothing's ever lost. Like we really do. I swear I turned my phone off. I totally did. So I'm gonna let that go right to commercial because we don't have any commercials. Oh, I'm so sorry. I swear I turned this off. Ay, 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 ay. Unpopular. But so no, your grandmother's love is going to endure. But I know it must have been jarring for you at the time. But so, how did you grow? Then you just grew up in the. Were
I
you in the
grew up.
middle of all the kids' ages,
I
or
I was originally they had my stepdad had four, and I became the middle child. So I was third oldest, but they had three more children. I mean, kids right
oh
away,
wow,
and so I raised my brother Jeff, and
so you were a caretaker as well.
yeah, and so I'd be coming home, excited to be home, and was gonna go play baseball with. I wasn't very good, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, no.
And then
It's the joy of the game,
my
right?
mom would say, David, your brother's been in the house
Like,
take him to the playground. And go, well, what the crap, why can't,
I have time for
who's going to
me,
take me out
right?
to play? So I became a very responsible,
Doing what you were
a
supposed to
child
do.
adult type of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't it
And,
amazing? I love you too,
um,
Paisley.
but it did, I think the gifts that I got from that upbringing was that I'm resilient, and I'm very
And
adaptable.
capable.
I think so.
I know so.
But and I didn't really realize that. But you mentioned self-esteem. I had low self-esteem throughout my school years. I was just so out of touch with the essence of who I am because I was so um, shut down, introverted,
Right.
and I would isolate from the world because I didn't want people to see how dark and depressed and of what I was going through. I thought I'd be judged and
Wow.
misunderstood, but I understand me now.
It's not wild. I have I think we have time for this. If you don't mind, I have a little story that I'd like to share.
Yes.
And it's from the day they stole my imagination. Speaking of self-esteem, I mean, I was a child that used to dream a lot. Like I just would read a lot and dream a lot and used my imagination, especially like sitting in the classroom. I would just look out the window and just, I don't know, I was that child that was like, pay attention, because I was never paying attention. But so one day I was 10 years old and my sister was 10 years older than me. She came home from college with her fiance that she wanted to introduce to the family. Well, I took one look at him and I was like struck through the heart with a Cupid's arrow. I was like, ah. I mean, I heard like the orchestra playing and like tall ships. I saw tall ships and birds and I've heard the orchestra, tall ships. It was just like this huge love. I just was instantly in love. Well, I had to corner the guy and tell him. So my sister was downstairs with this guy named Billy, and I he was coming up the stairs, and I blocked the landing, and I said, "You can't pass here until you kiss me." And in my eyes, I saw like because I was reading a lot of Nancy Drew and comic books at the time, so I saw him like swoop me up in his arms underneath and dip me, with this that big kiss, and like the heavens would part, and so I said, "You can't pass here till you kiss me." Well, the look on his face when I think of it this day, he was smart enough to just go, and kissed me right in the forehead and ran up the stairs. And the next thing I hear is all this crashing and banging. My sister Mary Lou, like slamming doors, and here she's bringing home this guy to introduce to her family. My sister does something like that. So my parents sat me down and they were like, "What were you thinking? What were you thinking?" And I said, "Well, I saw tall ships and heard seagulls and orchestra play." And they go, "Well, if that's what you see," or that they look at each other, "if that's what you're imagining, then just stop imagining. That's not good for you. Like from this day forward, stop." And me being like, "Oh, okay," like thinking the parents knew more than I did, which I think kids are smarter than adults really, because they just came from heaven. But I just was like, "Oh, okay," and I stopped. Like I didn't fully. Someone pointed out to me that I didn't fully stop imagining, but I literally put the brakes on what is one of the most powerful things that you can do in your life is picture and imagine and play out in a vibrational reality of how you want things to happen. And so it's pretty funny. I think I'm going to try and make a play out of that whole thing someday. Um, but kids, I just want to say, make sure you keep imagining because it's one of the biggest powers that you have. And if life isn't the way that you want it right now, picture it coming out just the way you want it. Hey, if you have a tough test tomorrow, you can be like, see yourself acing that test. Of course, do your preparation, but I mean, don't let your anxiety get to you. Instead, play it out like you would like it to be, and then more times than not, it'll be more favorable in your outcome. So, did that bring anything up that you wanted to comment on with that?
It's so true that visualizing a more positive result and kind of quieting your mind with all this anxiousness or this negative kind of energy
Yeah,
and like you said, vibration. Um, it's true.
it's
It's
really,
true.
it
It
took me a
really,
lifetime to figure it out,
well,
but
same here.
like, yeah, but I'm just so glad that you came out of it on this end. Now, again, I want to bring your attention to, hang on, is that the big one? Empowermentforkids.org, where we are spreading the word of this anti-bullying program because, I mean, you don't want to wait till you're bullied to come out of it because it just really stays with you. And I have a hands-on practical solution for everyone that I'm trying to roll out for you guys. And we just have a few minutes left. So I just want to thank you so much for being a part of my life right now. I'm going to so look forward to seeing you on stage and expressing yourself. You'll have to let us know so that we can promote it here on the show. And
Okay.
yeah, definitely. So and my parting words, I would like to say, kids, you're superstars. You don't even realize the power and strength that you have in who you are. And the naysayers and what everybody else thinks, you're going to come to realize that it's what you think that matters. It's what you think of them that they should worry about, not the other way around. And that ties us into Pride Month. This is June of 2026. We're in Pride Month, right in 10 days of it. So I know that bullying, LGBT, or if you're gay or if you're not like normal, I mean, nobody's normal. There's normal as a setting on a dryer. We're all unique, but we were all born different, uniquely to help the whole. Without your uniqueness, that you wouldn't add to the fabric of the world. So my total message is like we're unique for a reason, and if you don't celebrate who you are, then you'll miss a big part. As a matter of fact, you'll be sought out after for the exact same reasons why you think you're different now with your kids' friends, with your friends and stuff. Those qualities are exactly what you'll be sought out after as an adult. So embrace your uniqueness. And Dave, do you have anything that stirred up for you to say? I
I
mean, there's no
just,
pressure.
I just like the way you be you. And it has to do so much with discovering who you are, right?
That's it.
And not being afraid to be different or not, but just be yourself. And I think we all were perfect beings when we were born.
Right.
And it's just sometimes the path gets a little jumbled and rocky and feels like you can't get through it. But it's amazing how resilient we all are if you just stay focused and quiet some of the negative stuff that goes on. Easier said than done.
I know.
But I remind myself every day, to just taking deep breaths and not responding to something that's
Immediately,
really
right.
triggering. Just, or maybe not even say anything and leave the room. But I can only be me. I can only control me, and you can be you.
And a good way to start as well is stop criticizing yourself. That you really need to fall in love with yourself the way your maker is in love with you. Because God doesn't make mistakes. And you're the way you are because you're special that way. And if you stop criticizing yourself and find little things that you like about yourself every day, and pretty soon you'll be on the road to fully loving yourself, which is what you should do. And once you embrace yourself like that, you being you is exactly what the world needs. So thank you again for coming and joining us on empowermentforkids.org on UBU. And we'll be here with another episode next week. So tune in. And thank you so much. And thanks again for being here, Dave.
Thank you.
Okay, bye now.